What's up guys, welcome back to another epic video. Today we're back with some more, can't say Roblox, Minecraft for that, but something different. So my cousins and my friend are really obsessed with whatever's behind us. And so I decided, since I've this, that I decided to, damn, that's creepy, what's some very real Pokemon horror stories. Turn back now if you are scared. Or stay.
Guys, it is the notorious month of October. So, if you get scared easily, this video may not be for you.
Yep.
But today, I picked out 3 real-life Pokemon stories that I'm going to tell you guys about Pokemon that are very, very scary. So, put your scared pants on, change your diaper, but without further ado, here's some real-life horror Pokemon stories. Let's start with none other than the notorious Lavender Town. I know I've discussed this one on the channel before, and I know you guys have probably heard of it, but I thought, you know what, this is one that always scares my absolute jocks off. This is one that still horrifies me today, that when I go to bed at night, I still think about, like, what the actual heck. And there was a study actually done in 2010 on this as well, so it's still ongoing. Because if you didn't know, when the Pokemon Red game first came out, the first ever Pokemon game, there's a place called Lavender Town. And if you haven't been there before, it's a really spooky town that when you go there, the unknowns, if you see on a sign, randomly spell out, leave now. Even the unknowns know you shouldn't be there. But that's not really the point. It's a scary town, scary video games. I mean, that's been done 6,000 times. The point was, when you got here, no one knows why, but the music that was playing is extremely dangerous to people under 16 years old. That's because your ears are so sensitive before 16, they're very, very open to different sounds. Apparently the sounds in the Lavender Town music were so high-pitched, were doing something to like your brain cells when you hear them, to make kids seriously ill, and this happened. All across Japan when Pokemon Red came out, and then across the rest of the world, kids were falling ill once listening to the Lavender Town music, and they were dying. People all around the world, especially in Japan, were just falling ill and dying after hearing the Lavender Town music. And that's because the sounds in the video game were triggering something in their ears, which triggered something in their brain. That is horrifying. It was like quickly found out that that was the reason, and they changed the music in the Lavender Town song to make it lower, and the high frequencies were all taken out. And that was the part that was setting everyone off. So now if you play the games, you will witness a lower frequency of the Pokemon Red Lavender Town song. If you want to hear what this song sounds like, I'm going to play a snippet right now. I'm pretty sure this one has all the high frequencies removed, so you guys are safe. But let me play it right now, and you guys will sort of get the drift. Alright, if you don't want to listen to it, by the way, I'll just watch the screen, and you'll know when it's not playing anymore. Yeah, apparently after you listen to that for about, like, I don't know, 5 minutes or so.
Damn. With me, that wasn't scary, but, yeah, I don't want to watch it for 5 minutes, so yeah.
So, and you had the high frequencies still in the music, it was, game over. You'd pretty much fall ill. And that was a thing. And then they recently did a study in 2010 about that music, and people were still perplexed how they even got through the system, how that was allowed, and it was so weird. The whole situation is the strangest thing ever, but that's probably the most popular and common Pokemon horror story to date that I always love telling people because it freaks them out, it freaks me out. Every time I read that story, it's so scary. But yeah, that's the Lavender Town tone horror story, but it doesn't stop there with Pokemon. So the next story I'm going to tell you guys about is the Buried Alive bottle, and if you don't know about this, it's a literal human that's been buried alive, and that was in the Pokemon game. What's now replaced by a ghost of a Marowak at the top of the Pokemon Tower. you find the ghost of the Marowak. You guys know that, right? Hopefully you got to that part. It's not a spoiler, but yeah, you pretty much find the ghost of Marowak. Before they replaced it with that, there was actually this model right here of a human that was buried alive. You'd speak to him, he would come out, and buried alive would say, You're here. I'm trapped. I'm lonely. I'm so very lonely. Please join me." After this, the battle would initiate, and once in barrel view, the buried alive model appears to be a decaying human corpse beginning to crawl towards you. It has two programmed white hands. Oh my gosh. He has two programmed white hands to scare the viewer, then brings out both Gengar and Muck for a double battle. But the weirdest part about this whole thing is once the user beat the buried alive corpse, the scariest thing in the world that shouldn't even be in a kid's video game, there was no actions programmed into the game after. You'd beat it, and the game would go blank. And if the buried alive corpse ended up even beating you, the phrase, "finally fresh meat," would occur on your Pokemon screen. Apparently this has changed out in the Pokemon games roughly about the same time as the Lavender Town syndrome was changed out as well. So the very first Pokemon Red games, there's a lot of bad things about it. There's even video proof of someone finding an original copy of Pokemon Red with the deathly music and the boss. So this next story right here is about a man that went really far into the woods when there's a garage sale one day. He went all the way up there and he found one individual Pokemon game. The guy didn't have Game Boys, the guy said he never played Pokemon, but he just found it in the house. It was a copy of Pokemon Black in 1996. This didn't exist back then. This was literally this cartridge right here. That's the only photographic proof I've got is like that right there. But then the guy continues to say, when he put it into his Game Boy and started playing, instead of having Squirtle, Bulbasaur, and Charmander to pick from, he literally only had 3 of the ghosts that you would find in Lavender Town. You could pick one, and they'd only know one attack, and that attack was Curse. That is horrifying. He said there was no way every time he started a new game, it would start with the original 3 sentences, crash, boot up, you got to pick your ghost Pokemon, and then you Curse. And that was the whole game. On top of all this, the man only moved at half the normal walking speed, so you have to painfully go half as slow through this game. And because you're going half the speed and at the beginning of the game, you couldn't even use an HM. This man still powered through this. Regardless of where you went inside of this game, he heard the Lavender Town music. It was on an infinite loop throughout this game. It had been hacked in 1996. This is very, very rare, because it's pre-ROM hack, pre all the programs on computer. This is horrifying. Once the man had got through somewhat of the game, he gave up because everywhere he went, there seemed to be a recurring method of everyone will inevitably die at one point. Being too sad and too scary, he threw it in the bin and never played it again. Pokemon Black has never ever been found again. It may have cursed this man's life. Last not least, we'll end on a semi-not horrifying note, but still a really weird one. Is the Ash still in a coma theory? If you've noticed the pacing of the Pokemon TV show, if you've noticed the pacing of anything, how weird the whole universe is and how Ash never ages, and how he progressively goes further and further, hangs out with mythical creatures and battles them, never eats them. You gotta think, that's a bit weird. It's almost like a dream. There's a massive theory going on and there's so many threads about it. Pokemon isn't real. The whole world itself isn't real, and I know it's not real, but for Ash it is. But then there's a big theory. At the end of Pokemon, when they stop doing the entire show, the very ever last episode, rumoured to ever air, is gonna feature Ash waking up in a coma after a car crash. He had imagined all of these situations, everything he'd ever been through. Nothing was real. This was all a dream. It was everything he ever did was dreamt or thought about. That is horrifying. And guys, without further ado, I think I scared myself enough.
Hope you guys enjoyed. You did survive apparently. Yeah. I feel it was that scary, but yeah. Yeah, so have fun.